G'day everybody, it's Michael here from Tech and Tools, and today we are going to be looking at a UPS. If you don't know what the acronym UPS means, it is an uninterrupted power supply. It's a mouthful. So, let's get into it. Okie dokie, so yes, we're going to be looking at an uninterrupted power supply. Oh my god, I can't seem to pronounce uninterrupted. Or a UPS. So that is, a UPS is something that it's basically like a battery backup. So you, instead of having your computer, monitors, and all that plugged straight into, your wall, the socket, your power there, what happens is you have your power supply plugged, the UPS, that plugs into the wall, and then you have everything you run, your PC, screens, whatever, plugged into the UPS. So what happens is, with the UPS is, it's basically got a big rechargeable battery in it. Usually they're lithium ion. And what happens is, if there's a power supply issue, so such as the power goes out, because for whatever reason car hits a pole, there's a storm, whatever, one of your kids dicks around with a toaster and pops a circuit or something, everything won't shut off. Alright, so what, but the drawback is that depending on the how much wattage you are running, obviously it will depend on what type or what size power supply you need, and it also will change how long it will be able to supply that power for. So yeah, so basically you have the wall going to the uninterrupted power supply, then everything plugged into the uninterrupted power supply, and depending on the size of the uninterrupted power supply, depends how long the battery will last, and also how much wattage it can take. So for example, it wouldn't be able to run something like a hairdryer, a woman's hairdryer. They run at quite high wattages, somewhere up towards 2,000 watts. That's a lot. They draw a lot of power. So it's probably not. It won't. Excuse me. Probably won't be able to. It won't run something like that. So you need to actually get a baseline on what your wattage is. How much your maximum wattage is with your system running, or everything on that circuit. That power point. So so I'll show you how I've done that, but first let's have a look at the UPS. So it's rather heavy, so we'll get it up. Jesus Christ. So here we go, here it is. Just adjust it here a bit. So I've gone with sort of the more entry side of the market. They're obviously, you can buy cheap, you can buy expensive, I thought I'd give this a whirl. Obviously it's the CyberPower. It's got the Value Pro series. Now this one here is rated at 1600 VA, so 1600 volts, and 960 watts. Yeah, so maximum, so it can have a runtime of up to 150 minutes. So what's that? 2.5 hours. Couple of years warranty. Yeah, so what's it say here in the back here? So with mine, 960 watts, around 230 volts. This runs at 50 to 60 hertz. It's simulated sine wave. So it's automatic voltage regulation. It's got 4 outlets. This one here is actually a sealed lead acid battery one. Lithium ion is very expensive, so unfortunately I can't afford that. It is what it is. It's fine. That's why it's really heavy. So it says here typical recharge time is around about 8 hours to around about 90%. 90% charge. And what are the dimensions are? What's 100 wide by 281. I think that's length, and 235 millimeters tall. And it weighs 9.6. Sorry, and mine's 10.4 kilos. So it's not light. All right. So yeah, let's get this down and get it out of the box. All right. So let's have a look at this. Oh, pop it open. Out of the way, microphone. So, power cord, just like your computer. Now you pop this on the floor. Oh, my goodness. This is a beast. Yoink. There we go. It's a bit of an unboxing, I suppose, isn't it? It's heavy. It's so heavy. Now, what else we got in here? User manual. And a USB to... Oh, it's one of those ports like your printer. I don't actually know what that connection's called. Awesome. So yeah, that's it. Power cord. 10.5 kilos worth of product. And of course the peel. Satisfying. Yeah, there we go. So far so it looks pretty sleek. It's pretty nice actually. So we've got an on-off button here, display, mute or enter. And I'm guessing it'll light up, come up in a... Looking at this, it's the top section is like an LCD screen. I think it's got battery capacity and load capacity. So yeah. So that's the front. Let's have a look at the back. Oh, Jesus Christ, it's heavy. So there we go. We've got, what's this? USB serial port. Interesting. Couple of, what are they? Oh, in and out for your local area network. Interesting that. Power supply. That's a fuse reset. That's interesting. That's good to have, I guess, if you go over your wattage. And then, of course, you've got some outputs. What's this one say? So that's your surge protection, surge and battery. Oh, there you go. So obviously I'll be using that. Definitely having surge and battery protection. Because obviously what I've got here to power is my system. We'll lean back. System. 1, 2, 3 monitors. And I actually have a fridge down here. So which is running. So that brings me on to the next part of testing out how much wattage everything takes. So I'll show you how I've done that. So bear with me. Okay, so what I would advise you to probably do before you buy one of these is invest in like a wattage, what's the word? Wattage meter. So it'll tell you how many watts that your system is taking, and they can also tell you. There's different settings, and I've got mine set on maximum. I've had it for a couple of weeks now, and I've had it plugged in with everything, all of my system running through it, and I sort of had it set on max, so I've seen the max draw in wattage that it can take with everything running. My fridge kicking on and off, playing video games, you know, all those sorts of things, and everything it powers. So I'll show you where that is. So this is your wattage meter, and it's connected to my, obviously, power point, and it's everything's been running through that. So I've got that running to a, oh sorry, it's a bit of a mess down here, to obviously a 6, is it 6? Yeah, 6 adapter there, so you know it goes at 1 to 6. And if you have a look at it here, see if I can move it here, as you can see the maximum draw that I've had, and it's been 664, so 665 watts. So yeah, I'd advise you get one of these first, put it on its, for it, so it'll measure the maximum setting. So these got written there, it's got high, you see in the bottom middle of the LCD screen, it's got high. So it's been reading, and in watts, you see the W under the 664.6 is a little W. Oh, you can see that. So it's in the dark corner of my room. I've got my torch here. Yeah, so I just wanted to check that. So that's definitely under the 960 watt side of things. So what we'll do now is set it all up. Oh, I'll pull this back out. Oh, god damn. So what we'll do now is we'll set it up. It's going to go down here. Oh, sorry. It'll go down here in this little area down the bottom here, next to my subwoofer, and we will get it up and running. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so the instructions call for you to not plug the UPS in, but to leave it unplugged and powered off, but to plug in your like your PC and your monitors and everything like that. So which is all of that stuff, plug that in first, and then plug it into the wall, as you can see back there. So now the time, it says now to turn it on, so let's see what happens. Oh, there we go. We have some lights. Ooh. Righto. Okay. So battery capacity, it says the battery capacity, I don't know if you can see that. It's about half, and the load capacity is very low. So what does the pressing display do? It tells me how many volts, 50 hertz, and the output is 240 volts and 50 hertz. How many kilowatts? How many 64 volts output? So not much in the moment. What percentage? 4%. Righto. Alright. So let's turn everything on. Bear with me, I'll set my little set the camera up here. And let's hit power. There we go, turned everything on. So input is 240, where's the output? 240. Estimated runtime 18 minutes. Ah, that's because it's not charged up. So I'll have to, obviously, once it turns off tonight, it'll charge. So load capacity go back to output. There we go. So let's turn everything on. Let's see if I can get my fridge to turn on. I've opened our fridge up and I'm trying to get it to kick on. Probably just turn the thermostat up a bit. There we go. So that kind of went to full load for a second, then backed off, which is kind of expected. Shut my fridge. Oh, what happened there? Ah, the screen just went off. Maybe it's got a screen timer. 50 Hertz. So if you move that decimal place over 3 places, that'll give you watts, 393 watts. So, or 0.3, so about nearly 400 watts, or 0.3 of a kilowatt. Cool. Now I believe there's also, alright, so that's cranking up. So we'll let that go. Now, what I also believe is, I believe there is, and I've got it attached through the USB to my computer, so I believe there is, where's my light? Get my light back. Give me a sec. Technical issues. There's my light. That's better. So yeah, there's a program, a software program. So I'll run you through how to download that. So yeah, see you in a sec. Okay, so if you want to start download their app, this is the app here, Power Panel Personal by CyberPower. Obviously open up your Internet Explorer, Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, whatever you want. Type in Power Panel Personal Software, and you'll see here that it's cyberpowersystems.com, Power Panel Personal Software. Click on that. Click on Download, and you'll see here there's 3 different types. You've got Linux, Mac, and Windows. So hit the download button for, I'm running Windows 11, and then hit that download button and it will start downloading. Now I'll just cancel this because I've already downloaded it. Then obviously install it. Then obviously go to put it on your desktop. You can then, as I said, I'm running Windows. You can do this Windows 10. Windows 11 looks a little bit different, but obviously grab this and drag that and make that a shortcut, which will end up looking like such and such. Once you've done that, obviously you've got to have your UPS running, and that will connect. That connects to a from the UPS to the actual USB port on your motherboard. You click on this. Excuse me. And you'll come up. Now the screen may not say this all of a sudden, so what I'd advise you to do is you go to settings, you go to advanced. You need to actually activate it. So you go to Power Panel Cloud, or Power Panel Cloud is what I did. That'll bring you up to
basically make an account like you would make an account for anything. An email account or whatever. You put in your details. You then confirm it with your. So I'm gone through Gmail, my Gmail account. It's obviously my Gmail account, which you can send me any emails if you want to. And then obviously you verify it through that. And then you can go back to your app. The Power Panel Personal app. What you then need to do is click the connect button here, type in your account name and the password, hit obviously agree their terms, hit the apply button, and it'll send a link to your Gmail. You then go to your Gmail account. So let's see if it's still there. No, it's not. So it'll come up in your Gmail account it'll come up with a special verification code. You just copy and paste that. You put that in there. So yeah, copy and paste it from your Gmail. It'll come up, as I said, it will come up roughly about here. When you go back into this, you then paste it into there, verify, and it'll come up. And then you should be connected. It should connect to your UPS. Yes, I had to play around with that a little bit to figure it out. It wasn't completely 100% straightforward, but it wasn't too hard to figure out. But yeah, basically it gives you a rundown. Your output voltage, everything's normal here. Input voltage condition, output voltage conditions normal. The battery capacity, so it may not, when you first have it may not be 100%. The battery status, it's fully charged. So currently running at the moment, we're running 355 watts, and it'll give me a total of 18 minutes. Now, depending on what you're doing, and that'll change, depending on what you're accessing. You're playing video games, it's going to be less. When I play video games, this is around about 500, just over 500 watts, 5 to 600 watts. So it will obviously change. And so hardware status normal. You can see here, battery capacity 80%, gives you about 18 minutes. You can get a summary of issues, event logs. So communication with the UPS has been lost. So if I unplug the UPS, it'll actually, tell me that power's been lost. It's going to give you the actual energy reporting and what it's costing you, and even the CO2 emissions. Obviously settings here, you've got schedule, notifications. So you can schedule it to decide when your computer, UPS and connected equipment will turn on and off. Notifications, so I've got it set for notifications, so it'll send it to my Gmail account, and I've just named mine the desktop UPS. It'll also send it to my mbpowerwall@gmail.com, and you can test all that if you want to, but it'll send you if there's an issue, then which is really kind of cool. You can change some settings here. Keep computer running, shut down this computer when remaining battery runtime is only 5 minutes left. Voltage, well, it drops below 175 volts or goes over at 287. I did the lowest there and the highest there. You can do a self-test. And as you can see, I did one, that was actually, was that yesterday? Yeah, that was yesterday. And I did one. And then you've got obviously that original screen you come to, and you've got obviously information. You got you can check for updates and stuff like that. Gives you your firmware version, the model, firmware version, and what it's rated to. So yeah, there's a quick rundown on the Power Panel personal software. You can also download it on your phone. there's an app on the phone, so if you go back to here, you can download that on your phone if you want to. Don't think, I mean, it sends an email to me if I need to in my Gmail. The good thing is, I'll show you, if you actually unplug it, it generally comes up with connection lost sometimes. I'll plug it back in. So it was unable to communicate with the UPS. And that'll probably come back up now. As I plugged it back in, yep, that is, communication is restored. So, there you go. So you can change a few settings there. So I think that's pretty cool. We'll get rid of that. So yeah, back onto the rest of the video. Okay, so we've got it up and running. And if you can see in the top, you've got your load capacity. Underneath, you've got your battery capacity. At the moment, running normal. And then you can adjust down here. This is your output side of things. There's a few adjustments here. Estimated runtime 21 minutes. I mean, this is just got to charge up. It's going to take about 8 hours to charge this up, so I'll leave it overnight. So input, it's putting 240 volts in at 50 hertz. Output is 239 volts at 50 hertz. And at the moment it's putting out 0.288 kilowatts or 288 watts. If you move to decimal place, 3 points, 1, 2, 3 will give you watts. That's your volt amps, 368. Kilowatt percentage, 28% of what it can do, 33%. And obviously the VA as well, percentage. So battery capacity 73%. How many minutes slide left? Then we go back to the input. So yeah, settings wise, if you look at your manual, it actually tells you here. So what happens is if you hold down these two at the same time for about 3 seconds. Alright, so it comes into that. So you press display and that'll take you down to actually let's just go back to the first one, sorry. Okay, so this is your line, okay, and what that means is like what type of voltage ranges. So if you've got good service or it's not, good, you can change this. You can change everything here. Oh, so let me go back here, sorry. So line, change that to good. So that's poor, medium. So I've got good here, so we'll connect it to good. Then we go down from line to H295 is in regards to utility power settings. 3 types of fixed voltage ranges. If it's high, if your connected equipment can work in this condition. So we'll change that to, we'll keep it, yeah, you can work in that condition, H295. Then we go down to L, so this is the minimum voltage. So if the utility voltage is usually low and the connected equipment can work in this condition, you can set the input voltage range lower to reduce the UPS from going to AVR mode or battery mode as often. So what have I got it on? 175. So I'll leave it on that because I think that'll be fine for me. Going down, you got the sensitivity. So if the connected equipment can tolerate more power events, example unstable power often associated with stormy weather, select low sensitivity. The UPS will go to battery mode less often. So let's have a look what this is. So what's it at the moment?
So it's got low. If the connected equipment is more sensitive to power events, select high sensitivity. So I'll set it in the middle at the moment. Let's see how that goes. Going further down, lower battery warning. It gives me 5 minutes. I might actually change that. Give me 10 minutes. So that'll be fine for that. Battery test. So it can perform a battery test on it. I'm not going to do that now because it's not charged up, but I did it before and it was fine. We'll go down to beyond, which is audible alarms. So you can select off or on. So I'll obviously select on and center. Going down here is your LCD sleep. So mine will go to sleep after 1 minute, 5 minutes. Sorry. So you can change that. 1 minute, 5 minutes. We'll go 5 minutes. After that, you have last fault reason. What does that say for this? So error 01 is a charge fault, error 02 is a charger fault. First error 01, E01 is a charger fault overcharge. E02 is charger fault no charge. E21 is output short. E22 is overload. So there you can give you some error codes there, which is really kind of cool. Going down to what they call def, which is your back to default settings. We don't want to do that. And then return, yes, or return to the normal screen. So, yep, I think I might actually keep that on the output wattage. Keep an eye on that. So yeah, there it is there. That's the running through this some setup stuff there. So yeah, I'll see you in a sec. Okie dokie, so yeah, that's it for the CyberPower UPS. It'll be interesting to give this a whirl. I'm definitely going to need to read instructions to do some basic setup and that. There is an app you can download and stuff like that. I'm not really too concerned about that, as long as really a UPS for us who are using your computer is really, if you're doing something in your computer and you have a power failure, power outage, you've got time to save it and get out of it so you don't lose your work. That's really the ultimate thing. That's all I really want it for. I've got mine set to give me a 10-minute warning if the battery's low, if there's no power. But that, I just want it to run enough for me to be able to save stuff and shut it down and not do any damage to my computer. So yeah, so it comes, as I said, it comes with surge protection. Yeah, also, and obviously it's a battery backup for it, and so power goes out, gives me time to shut everything down, which is my wife and I, we run business. We've got work to do with our business, with our work and stuff that we do. And if you're halfway through, say example, when I was at university, you're halfway through doing an exam or a test or something like that. The power goes out, boom, you're done. If you're halfway through writing, you've just written 1,000 words in an assignment, power goes out. What you can't put a price on that, if you're working towards stuff for your future. So I think a UPS is a very warranted thing for anyone's desktop. Just like if you're running your laptop, and you unplug it, you've still got the battery running, and that'll obviously run for a certain amount of time. This is basically the same thing, really. So I think that's fantastic. So yeah, I will put up on the screen where I got it from, how much I paid for it. It wasn't that expensive, but I mean, for a couple of $100, you know, it can save your butt. So, especially if you're, as I said, doing an assignment, working in the business and you haven't saved stuff, whatever. So, yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching the video. Please hit that like and subscribe button. And until next time, this is Michael from Tech and Tools. Catch you later.